JohnMGottman, The Relationship Cure. Discover the secret to fostering meaningful connections and building healthy relationships with The Relationship Cure by John M. Gottman. Delve into the world of emotional bids, the fundamental units of emotional communication, and learn how they impact your relationships. Uncover the hidden messages within bids, and understand why addressing these messages is vital to nurturing strong connections. Explore the significance of cultivating positive bid responses and navigate the complexities of emotional communication to fortify your relationships with friends, family, and romantic partners alike.
The secret to close relationships. People don't create close relationships by simply disclosing intimate details about themselves as previously thought by psychologists. Rather, it's all about how partners communicate with each other. Dr. Gottman's Love Lab study showed that couples didn't share personal secrets but bonded over mundane everyday conversations. The key to forming close relationships is not what people talk about, but how they talk about it. This revelation applies to all types of relationships. The power of emotional connections. Discover the significant role of emotional connection in developing a strong relationship with the people around you through bids and bid responses. The authors reveal that bids are the most fundamental units of emotional communication. It can be a gesture, a facial expression, a question, or an exclamation, any attempt to establish an emotional connection with someone. The other person can respond in three ways: turning towards, turning away, or turning against the bid. Turning towards the bid means responding positively to establish a connection. Turning away means ignoring or sidestepping the bid, and turning against is reacting negatively. The way people respond to bids and bid responses can make or break a relationship. The hidden messages in small talk. Human interaction is full of bids, even in seemingly insignificant conversations. These bids usually contain hidden messages that can strengthen or weaken relationships. For instance, Mary's statement about the temperature to Jeff is a bid for physical affection. Bids are often vague and subtle because they give people a way to back out gracefully from rejection or awkwardness. However, this vagueness can result in misunderstandings and relationship challenges. Deciphering the hidden bids. People tend to struggle with decoding hidden messages behind questions and lacking the means to communicate their own feelings and intentions effectively. This book extract emphasizes how these subtle bids require careful interpretation and highlights ways to improve communication. The author uses examples to highlight how bids can present themselves and recommends focusing on underlying messages rather than surface responses to improve connections and prevent communication breakdowns. Decode people's bids. Gain a better understanding of people's emotional needs by decoding their bids and emotional heritage. Bids are often misunderstood expressions of unmet emotional needs and desires, even to the person expressing them. To truly understand people's bids, you need to comprehensively grasp their emotional makeup, and your knowledge about their background matters. In the book's summary, the authors highlighted that people's past experiences and emotional heritage shape their behavior and interactions. Therefore, comprehending someone's background may assist you in interpreting their bids and supporting them better. The authors shared a couple's story, Rick and Sarah, who had come for therapy, and their arguments were often a result of their emotional heritage baggage. Rick had grown up with his grandmother, who had made him feel worthless, affecting his sense of self-esteem. Every time Sarah made a complaint, Rick heard his grandmother's voice, which was detrimental to their relationship. Similarly, Sarah's growing up in a poor family and being one of 7 siblings led her to keep her needs to herself until she erupted with complaints. Everyone carries emotional baggage from previous relationships into present experiences, and it significantly influences their interactions. The more you understand someone's emotional heritage, the better you will understand the origin of their bids, whether they know it or not. Therefore, it is essential to gain insight into other people's emotional heritage to support them better. In summary, knowing where people's bids originate from can help us identify how to support them better. Whether or not they recognize the source of their emotional needs, people's past experiences leave a significant impact on their current behavior and interactions. By decoding people's bids, we can gain a better understanding of their emotional heritage and develop healthier relationships. The power of softening bids. Bids often contain hidden messages shaped by emotional heritage. Soften bids by reflecting on underlying emotional needs and expressing them through soft language. When addressing concerns, focus on bids expressing fear, rather than making bold statements. Soft language makes bids more palatable and constructive. The importance of initial bids in emotional communication. The success of emotional communication between two people depends on the initial bid and bid response. It is like a game of tennis where a mishit can end the game, but success leads to closer connection. Positive responses build on each other and increase the chance for connection. On the other hand, negative responses can cause the communication to end, and any chance to connect is lost. Understanding the importance of bids can make a massive difference in how relationships unfold. The art of declining bids. You can decline bids and still build connections positively. It's easy to feel pressure to accept every request or invitation that comes your way for fear of damaging your relationships by declining. However, the truth is, you can still turn toward other people's bids and build connections with them even when declining requests you're unwilling, unable, or not interested in accepting. Your response is what matters most. By affirming your desire to connect with the person and offering alternatives rather than bluntly rejecting their offer, you leave the door open and keep communication flowing positively. For example, declining a lunch invitation by saying, "I'd really love to have lunch with you, but I'm swamped with work right now. Maybe tomorrow? Or we could grab coffee and catch up after work," allows the other person to feel reassured of your desire to connect and offers them more options to build on their initial offer. This same approach can be applied to any bid that you can't or don't want to accept. The game of tennis serves as a great analogy for this art of declining bids. By saying no in a positive and alternative way, you keep the ball of friendly communication in the air and maintain a healthy relationship despite declining an offer. The impact of bid responses on relationships. When we respond to bids in our relationships, our actions add up, and patterns of positive or negative responses can have a significant impact in the long run. If we turn toward bids, it leads to more connections, while turning away or against them leads to disconnection. Our responses carry hidden messages that can either convey our appreciation or hurt toward the other person. A pattern of negative bid responses is a strong predictor of marital problems. Therefore, aiming for positive responses most of the time should be a goal in building and maintaining healthy relationships.
In summary, The Relationship Cure by JohnMGottman highlights the importance of understanding and responding to emotional bids in order to build connections and enrich relationships. Whether you are analyzing your conversations with friends or deciphering the hidden messages in a partner's bid, learning how to turn toward them in the proper manner is fundamental to fostering strong relationships. Through self-reflection, honing your bid-making skills, and cultivating empathy for the emotional needs of others, you can unlock the full potential of emotional communication and deepen your bonds with the people who matter most.